Good afternoon. My name is Cheryl Lee, and I'm a registered nurse with the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas, JBSA, Fort Sam, Houston. I work in the trauma intensive care unit, and we receive everything from military to civilian traumas, ranging from broken bones to gunshot wounds to serious head injuries.
Good afternoon, Cheryl. I have a couple questions to ask you about gender discrimination in the workplace. I'd like to start off by asking you if you have a personal definition of what you think gender discrimination or sexism is.
Gender discrimination is pretty much, as it says, you're discriminated against based on whether you're a male or a female. And for a lot of years you saw that in the nursing profession, because simply boys did not do nursing and girls did not do doctoring. So that's an older example, and things have since changed. Sexism wise, I think that's more of a role type of thing. Girls cook, boys work outside.
Great. Have you ever experienced either one of those things?
I have. Recently I had a situation where at the end of the day, I had applied for a position, would have been a promotion position, and I sat in front of a panel, and on that panel was the best friend of one of the other applicants. I felt that the interview process was very unfair. My qualifications exceeded his, and he got the job. And I've kind of seen a new trend. Like I said before, boys used to not be involved in nursing, but recently, especially in areas where it's high intensity, such as the intensive care unit, trauma in particular, where we're seeing them pushing the male forward in that position. And I did file an EEO on that, because I simply feel like I didn't get the job because he wanted his guy friend to get it.
So would you say that's how you handled it, was by filing a report?
Yes. So there are ways to deal with discrimination in the workplace in a federal facility such as FAMC. I filed an equal opportunity employment complaint that I felt the process was unfair because the best friend was hired, and the interviewer was an all-male panel, and one of the interviewers, the person who made the final decision on the position, was the guy who got the job's best friend. So I handled it appropriately that way. And the other reason I had filed that complaint was because I had asked about why. I was subsequently fired from that floor and sent to work in another trauma unit, which took me by surprise because I had been in that unit since 2007.
Okay, so did you tell anybody else in the workplace that you felt discriminated against simply because you're female?
Yes, I did. I immediately spoke to our officer in charge of the unit, and who also is a male, and was involved in one of the other men on the board that was doing the hiring. I again spoke to the new supervisor, the new officer in charge of the new unit that I was transferred to, and he agreed. He felt that the process had been a little bit swayed in the other applicant's favor, and that the two gentlemen who were friends with the person who was hired should have recused themselves from that board. This went further to the director of nursing, and it's kind of just sitting there right now between the Equal Opportunities Board and the director of nursing.
So do you feel like they were able to help you, or do you still feel like your situation is being less looked upon?
I do feel like they were trying to help. I do feel, though, that there is such a good old boys club in the federal hiring process that it's going to be a pretty difficult and uphill fight.
Of course.
And I originally, when this all happened, I thought life was over. Moving to the new unit's actually been very good for me. We are bringing it forward and we're not letting it go, because there have been several management positions where a female applicant who was equally or more qualified did not get the position. The coordinators, for example. There's been head nurse positions that have all gone to men. And it just feels like the occupation that at one point was men don't enter because it's a woman's work is now being kind of overtaken by the men, and they're pushing the women out.
Interesting. So would you say that the men in your workspace are treated differently?
I've noticed that they do get better opportunities for making themselves shine at work. Like, they're given assignments that are extra work, but it's research studies and things that we do so that we can get ourselves published as nurses, because that's how we pad our resumes and make ourselves above somebody else in an application process. And we're currently, I had also, working with a female nurse practitioner, we had put in a petition to do a research study. We were denied to do that research study, and suddenly, lo and behold, the same person who wound up getting the job from over me is now in charge of that very research project.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you for your time, Ms. Cheryl Lee.